Hello, everyone. Welcome to ANAT 1. This is going to be a very short introduction to everything that you'll have for this course regarding where to find everything, where you'll get all of the different resources, and how to use them as well. So let's go ahead and get started and look at the main place that you'll want to find, which is the Canvas course for ANAT 1. So use whatever web browser you'd like, but ideally Chrome, because Chrome is what you're going to use for the quizzes. So try to install Chrome, find that on your browser or find that on your computer, and then open it up and go to Canvas, which is going to allow you to find our page for that one specifically. So let me go ahead and go to that page really quickly. And what you'll see is that when you go to Canvas, you'll see our home page, which has a lot of different information, which includes my contact information. So first of all, my name is Evan Lee. Nice to meet you all. But also my email, which you can use whenever you can or whenever you'd like to contact me regarding any issues or if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But furthermore, you also have the syllabus here, which you can find under files, but also we'll see like one more place where you can find it as well, which is in the modules. But furthermore, you have two important links here. You have the weekly lab meeting link, and that is going to be the link that you use to attend lab every week on Fridays from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So that is a mandatory meeting, which is going to be synchronous with me and all of your classmates. So make sure that you attend those every week on Fridays. But furthermore, you also have the office hour link, which is going to be an optional, like supplementary time that you can use to ask questions if you don't want to use email. But furthermore, this is going to be a good way to go over your quizzes, as well as ask any more intricate questions regarding the material. But if you scroll down, you can see some additional information. So this is a link to something called the modules, which is going to have everything that you kind of need laid out for you in a very organized manner. But furthermore, just some kind of introductory information regarding the class as well. So I'll let you read this on your own, but like what you'll see is that this is going to be a hybrid course format, meaning that you'll have portions of which will be asynchronous, portions of which will be synchronous. And the synchronous part, I just want to reiterate, is going to be a mandatory lab meeting, which is going to be on Fridays from 10:30 to 1:30, or 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And then while we're here, one more quick thing I should also just announce is that we do not have a required textbook, but you can optionally purchase this textbook right over here. And one other thing I can add is that this version of it is not necessarily like the only one that you can use. If you can find another version which is reasonably priced, that's perfectly fine as well. Like it might be a little bit different, but to be honest, anatomy doesn't change too much as long as like, we're not going like, way back in time. So go ahead and grab whichever one you can, but this version is perfectly fine. But let's get to some important things that you'll be able to find in the Canvas course. So one major place that you'll be able to look for things is in the modules section. So if I click modules, you'll see that I have a little bit more than you, but what you will be seeing here is practicum 1 and then week 1. Like this is our first week's worth of material. So if you can't see this, let me know, but if I click on that, you can see all of the content that is available to you for this week. So first of all, you can see that you have the narrated lecture PowerPoints. These are all of the PowerPoints that you should listen before coming to lab, and this is the content that you'll be responsible for this week. So not all of it is going to be like content, because in this case, we do have the intro to the course. I would recommend listening to that just to make sure you understand what's going on. But you have these lectures, which are actually regarding our first anatomical topics. So organization and anatomy, anatomical terminology, and then the cell. So these are the kind of major topics that you'll need to go through this week. And then we will also talk about this on Friday during lab. So like the best way to go through this is for you to go through the PowerPoints, kind of try to mull it over, make sure you understand at least some amount of it. But the main part about the meeting on Friday is that I will be going over the structure lists. So I am not going to necessarily do like long lectures. That is the asynchronous part, which allows you to use your time however you'd like to go through the material. But I will be going over the lab material on Fridays, meaning that like the main focus of Friday is to make sure that you can identify everything. You want to make sure you can identify everything, which is going to be very important for the quiz, which will be at the end of the week. So in order for you to like understand everything, go through these PowerPoints, but also you could also use our lab videos. So the lab videos are going to help with also going through things. And if you'd like, you can listen to these as many times as you'd like. So if you look closely, you can see that there's a video narrated by hopefully a very familiar voice, but this is going to go over a lot of the different structures that you'll be responsible for. So although it won't go over every single thing, it will go through quite a lot of them. And if you have a hard time with translating from the PowerPoints to the models, like you should try to watch the videos, but also try to prepare for lab, which are on Fridays. So if you get to Friday and you're still having a hard time, like we want to make sure that we clarify everything before we get to the quiz over the weekend. Now, some additional things that you'll see on this page is that you have some more study material that you can see here as well. This is going to be a PowerPoint, which has a lot of different pictures that you can use to study from. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But lastly, before we finish this page, you can see that there's one more thing that's really important, which are something called PAL questions. So PAL questions are proactive learning questions. That means that these questions are going to be basically your study guide for the exam. Like if you get through the PowerPoint, you want to try and answer the questions or you want to try and answer the PAL questions to make sure that your understanding is well, relatively good. So this will make sure that you understand at least the major concepts. It will get to certain details, which I really want to kind of focus on, but generally anything from the PowerPoints is fair game. So like, although we don't use a book, this is really where you're going to get your information from. Now, to go over some more materials and some more specifics of them, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the PowerPoints. So if you look at this, this is the PowerPoint, or one of the PowerPoints for the first week, and this is just the introduction to the class. But the important part about these PowerPoints is that they have the information for you. They are like you have written things all throughout the PowerPoint. So there's a lot of bullet points, there's a lot of specific information, but you also have a narration that goes with these PowerPoints as well. So let me just change one setting real quick so that you can hear it. So if you look closely, like this is kind of like the standard format of the PowerPoint, as in like this is how you would edit PowerPoints and look at things a little bit more generally. But it also has a narration that goes along with it as well. So you have two options to use the narration. So if you click on this button, you'll see that there is a scrolling bar that is going to pop up, as well as a volume button. So you can change the volume, but also, if you'd like, you can press this and play the audio that goes with each slide. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ANAT 1, Human Anatomy. This is going to be a short. So hopefully you were able to hear that, but you can also kind of go through it and change or kind of skip through the slide if you don't want to listen to the whole thing every time. But secondly, the other way that you can use this is to just go to the presenter mode. So the presenter mode is going to go through it like every slide in its normal timing and normal organization. So to do that, go to slideshow and then start it from wherever you'd like. But this is going to full screen the PowerPoint and it's just going to play the audio as it normally would. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ANAT 1 Human Anatomy. This is going to be a short introduction
Hopefully
to
you
the
can hear
actual
that,
course.
but that is just going to play the entire PowerPoint one way through. But also, you could always go back if you want to listen to things again. So this is the way that I'm going to be presenting the majority of the material so that you can spend as much or as little time as you'd like to look at them. So if you want to read them over and over, you can look at the PowerPoints and read over them. You can take notes from them, but you can also listen to the narration, which is going to be there for you to listen to once again as many times as you need to. If you need to go back, I mean, I would probably use this just so that you can go back to a certain point that you'd like, but you can also just listen to the whole thing over and over. So, I mean, this is the good part about being asynchronous. You can decide how much time you need to put into it. If you want to skip slides, if you want to skip through a narration, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to listen to it multiple times so that hopefully that explanation will be a little bit more effective, please do it as much as you need to. But if you ever do have any specific questions that aren't answered through the PowerPoint, please come to office hours. Like that is going to be a great way for me to be able to answer questions a little bit more easily than email. But obviously, if you can't make it to office hours, just email me. Like I will try to get back to you as best I can, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to explain things through email, especially when we need to have a little bit of a back and forth. So this is one of the major ways that you're going to get your content through. But one more document that's going to be really important are the structure lists. So the structure lists are going to be what you're responsible for the lab. So whenever we have those PowerPoints, there will be a structure list that is going to be linked to it, which is going to basically have the structures that you're responsible for like identification. So if you look closely, one of our PowerPoints was on the cell, and these are the terms of the cell that you need to know, and these are the structures that you need to be able to identify. So this is what you want to do before, or this is what you want to prepare for before you come to lab. Try to listen to the PowerPoints, go over the structure lists, watch the videos, but also we have even more that you can use to help with your learning as well, which will include the pictures of the models. So these are the practicum study materials. This has like various illustrations, pictures of models, bones and tissues that you can use. But basically, what you want to do is try to identify everything from the structure list on this image. And luckily, you have a list right over here on the left-hand side, which tells you everything that you can see on this picture. So your goal is to be able to find all of these on this picture. And you can use whatever resources you like, but I would use the PowerPoint. If you would like to, you can use the book, but the videos should also help you with going through this as well. So the goal of anatomy is for us to be able to understand how everything is put together, being able to identify and name and find these structures. So that's what you're going to be doing with these pictures. And furthermore, it's not just like one picture of a cell, you have multiple different pictures of a cell, and sometimes you'll even have many different views that you can use to practice. But every slide, you can see that you have these different lists of structures that you need to find. So make sure that you can find these structures, like, or find these structures among the different pictures on those slides. So we'll talk more about this on like during our lab on Friday, but before you come to lab, I would try to watch the or listen to the PowerPoints, watch the videos, as well as look at the structure list to see what you need to know. And sorry, but I did forget one more important detail, which is that if you want to use these PowerPoints, or rather, if you want to use the narrations of these PowerPoints, you actually need to download and install PowerPoint. And then you also need to download the PowerPoints on your device.
So I do apologize that the files are a little bit large, but you do need to download these PowerPoints onto your device. But you can use your laptop and you can use your phone. I mean, whichever one you have space for, as well as whichever one you prefer, you should be able to like install PowerPoint, download the Power or install and download PowerPoint, download the PowerPoints that are provided for you, and then you'll have access to the narrations. So unfortunately, you cannot just use Canvas to listen to the PowerPoints. You do need to download and install PowerPoint and then download each week's PowerPoint as well. So hopefully you'll be able to do that. But if you have troubles with that, I can definitely talk to you during our lab on Friday. So just keep in mind that you can find the link to our lab either on Canvas, on our homepage, so right over here, or you can find it in the syllabus as well. So if you go to the syllabus, you'll be able to see that you can find the link to our lab meeting and additional information as well. So I would definitely go through the syllabus if you can, but I will go through this during our first meeting on Friday. So I think with that said, that should give you a good start to Anatomy 1 in our online hybrid format. So try to use everything that is provided for you. There's a lot of different resources. You can cater this to however you like to learn, but use whatever you need to. But the main thing is to make sure that you go through all of the material and then prepare for your quizzes and your practicums, which will be coming up shortly. Okay, so with that said, I look forward to meeting you all in our lab meetings. That is going to be on Zoom, remember? So don't forget to be there on Friday at 10:30 a.m. And I will, well, I'll see you all soon. So good luck with everything. And I look forward to a good semester with everyone. All right? All right. See you soon.